Welcome to John's Tarot.
When does a perceptual schematic become consciousness? When does a difference engine become the search for truth? When does a personality simulation become the bitter moat of a soul?
Welcome to you from wherever in the world you may be. I had some new listeners from all over the world. I have a new listener from the Philippines, Mabuhay, Philippines. I hope you're still out there, and I hope you guys are all having a great day. Today is, I believe it's November 18th, 2025. I didn't post last Friday because I've been working a lot and just doing the best I can. I'm still a working nurse out here. I'm still an ICU nurse. I'm still staying busy. And a couple of things caught my interest. Today we're going to talk a little bit. I know the focus is on the Epstein files. And I'm not going to get into the Epstein files. There's plenty of other people out there talking about that. And you guys can make up your own mind about that. But I'm going to talk about something I'm a little bit more qualified to talk about. And that is President Trump's health. First of all, I want to play a little bit of something. This is how President Trump sees himself. This is what President Trump says.
I had an MRI. The doctor said it was the best result he has ever seen as a doctor.
And this is what the American people think.
You idiot.
His little trope on the, it's amazing. It's phenomenal. The doctor said it's the best MRI he's ever seen. It's the best MRI I've ever seen as a doctor. That has become a bit of a trope in the medical community. Even the patients are saying it. I take them down for an MRI, and the patients are saying, it's amazing. It's phenomenal. It's the best MRI the doctors have ever seen. And the families are saying it. So it's kind of there's been an inside joke on the ICU. It's a hospital. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about the president's health. He's had a couple of things that have happened with his health, and I need to update that. Now, I as a nurse, what I do as a nurse is I observe symptoms, and I document the symptoms, and I report the symptoms to the physician, and then they take action based on those symptoms. And sometimes the actions they take based on the things I tell them is really very radical. I mean, people could be intubated, and all kinds of things can happen based on their symptoms, So I made a list of symptoms. This was back, I think, in June or July. And I'm going to review some of those symptoms, and I updated my list. And I took all these symptoms, and I added them into ChatGPT. Very simple, and I asked for a differential diagnosis. And these are the things that came back. First of all, let me provide you a list of symptoms. Please provide, and I asked ChatGPT, please provide a differential diagnosis for an 89-year-old male patient who displays these symptoms. Confabulatory. We've all heard him talk about his uncle who was in I forget what college, and he talked about his uncle was in the college, interviewed somebody who was already dead, and his uncle's passed away. Anyway, his slurred speech, unawareness of surroundings when he's in a new location. Did you see the video where he had to be led by the hand by the Japanese prime minister because he was just so lost? Possible sundowners, known to post bizarre statements at 3 a.m. on social media. He has a gait disturbance, has cardiovascular problems, he has +3 peripheral edema to bilateral lower extremities. His respiratory problems, he has a COVID history, he's a known non-smoker. Gastrointestinal problems, possible incontinence, known to wear adult Depends, known to wear urinary catheter. I posted those pictures up on my up on my YouTube where he's definitely wearing a urinary catheter. Skin scrapes to hands indication of falling. Bruising of the dorsal portion of his hands, which is covered up with makeup. Everybody's seen that. And that is caused possibly by blood thinners. Recently received an MRI head, followed by a neuro assessment. And he brags about that. He brags about the MRI and the neuro assessment.
I had an MRI. The doctor said it was the best result he has ever seen as a doctor.
So, the updated differential diagnosis of the 89-year-old male, including cognitive decline, disorientation, confabulation, sundowning, shuffling gait, plus peripheral edema, incontinence, falls, slurred speech, need for physical guidance, possible anticoagulant use, catheter use, and history of COVID. The number one neurocognitive disorder is dementia, still the most likely underlying process. COVID history strengthens the suspicion for ongoing accelerated cognitive decline because many older adults develop or worsen dementia after infection. Likely types are Alzheimer's disease. COVID is strongly associated with accelerated Alzheimer type progression, worsening memory, increased confusion, increased nighttime disturbance. Lewy body dementia, now even more plausible cause because COVID can cause neuroinflammation affecting dopamine pathways. LBD often presents with shuffling gait, fluctuating awareness, disorientation, delirium episodes, slurred speech. Or vascular dementia. COVID is known to cause microvascular injury, small vessel ischemic changes, increased stroke tolerance, slurred speech, plus gait disturbance, plus history of COVID. Vascular insult is very possible. Post-COVID neurological syndrome, long COVID in the elderly. This is now an important part of the differential. Common long-term effects in older adults include cognitive impairment, known as COVID brain fog, new or worsening dementia, slowed processing, fatigue, gait instability, slurred or slowed speech, increasing fall risk. COVID-induced neuroinflammation can mimic dementia or exacerbate pre-existing decline. Stroke or TIA, high suspicion with COVID history. COVID infection is associated with a 3 to 7 times increased risk of stroke, even months later. Slurred speech plus gait disturbance plus fluctuating cognition are classic for stroke, TIA, vascular injury, and MRI findings will be critical here. So he just had an MRI finding. Chronic subdural hematoma, falls and blood thinners and head injuries. This is where he's at big risk. If he's wandering the White House alone at night, sundowning, and he takes a fall and he is on a blood thinner and he hits his head, it's a real issue. It's a real cause for concern. This remains a very real concern, and the COVID history increases the risk because COVID can cause clotting abnormalities. Elderly patients become deconditioned post-infection and often fall more. Symptoms match positive progressive confusion, slurred speech, gait disturbance, incontinence, need for hand guiding, bruising. MRI was likely done partly to rule this out. Number 5, delirium superimposed on dementia. COVID survivors over 80 have a 2 to 4 times increased risk of delirium, heightened vulnerability to cognitive fluctuations. Triggers still includes UTI from possible catheter use, CHF, congestive heart failure, dehydration, medications, nocturnal disturbances. Slurred speech can appear during delirium. Cognitive heart failure, congestive heart failure, CHF, contributing factors. COVID increases long-term risks of heart failure, edema, hypoxia, weakness, cognitive decline. This +3 pitting edema bilaterally suggests congestive heart failure may already be present. Congestion states can worsen. Confusion, energy levels, gait disturbance. He may also have normal pressure hydrocephalus. I just had a patient the other day with normal pressure hydrocephalus and dementia, and I saw what our current chief administrator's history looks like, and it was not pretty. Still a strong possibility. Gait disturbance, urinary incontinence, cognitive decline. COVID does not cause normal pressure hydrocephalus, but it can worsen symptoms in those already borderline. And this patient I had yesterday, he was totally confused. He couldn't be managed at home anymore. He had breathing difficulties and just totally confused and disoriented. And I think that's the future of our chief executive, and it's rapidly approaching. Much of what we see on television or media is AI-generated or specialized clips.
I had an MRI. The doctor said it was the best result he has ever seen as a doctor.
Yeah, Parkinson's and Parkinsonian dementia. COVID occasionally triggers Parkinsonian symptoms due to neuroinflammation. Symptoms the patient has: shuffling gait, slowed responses, slurred speech, poor orientation. Trying to navigate unfamiliar locations is often impaired in Parkinsonianism. He may have medication effects. Possible interactions or worsening are due to anticoagulants, sedatives, heart failure medications, pain medications. COVID recovery often leads to polypharmacy, increased confusion, and dysarthria. Dysarthria is the slurred speech. Prior conditions now, most to least urgent. Must be ruled out urgently. Stroke or TIA. If you had COVID, you're at high risk. Chronic subdural hematoma, especially with his falls, anticoagulants, and slurred speech. Delirium from infection, congestive heart failure, or metabolic imbalance. Severe CHF exacerbation. Likely chronic contributors: Lewy body dementia, vascular dementia, Alzheimer's disease, normal pressure hydrocephalus, post-COVID neurocognitive syndrome. And it kind of goes on, and I'm going to wrap that up there. I am really concerned. This is the guy who is in charge of the nuclear football, that one day he is going to wake up and decide he's going to make a decision on a unilateral nuclear strike on Albuquerque, because he's heard Oprah and Yosemite Sam and Bugs Bunny are there plotting against him, and that Beyonce is in on the plot. So he's going to plan a nuclear strike on some place where he believes these people are. Let's ask the tarot about his current health conditions. This is going to be my last podcast on fortune telling. Now, I'm going to do a series, kind of an initiatory series on awakening, on becoming awake, on becoming who you truly are. Are you the person who you truly are? Do you know who you truly are? Or are you just a person that you were brought up to be by your parents, by our society? Or have you pierced that deeper level? So I'm going to have a series of lectures and videos. I'm going to start on Friday on making that discovery and using simple tools. And this is a lot of it would be based on Jungian psychology, that as a framework, as a basis for finding out these deeper questions about us as individuals. Because we have a very troubled society, and see if I can bring a little healing into this society. As to this individual, what can we expect from his health in the next, let's say in the next 3 months? He appears to be pretty sick and deteriorating. What can we expect from Donald Trump's health in the next 3 months? All right, I shuffled the deck. I'm going to do a 9-card Celtic Cross. I cut the deck, and my first card is the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands usually indicates some type of growth and change. All right, and so that could also indicate the growth and change, the growth of an illness, the progression of an illness, new beginnings, new illnesses, new symptoms appearing. Crossing that is the Ten of Wands. And 10 of Wands, you see a man carrying a whole stack of wands, and he's going off into the distance. This guy, a lot is required from somebody in his position, even though he's taken every weekend off and on the taxpayer's dime to Mar-a-Lago. A lot is required of him, and it's very stressful. And he does have a heavy workload for somebody his age and his physical condition. Well, at the base of the reading is the Eight of Wands. So whatever's going to happen in the next 3 months is going to happen pretty quickly. And he may have a sudden event. I don't know what that sudden event is that happens quickly that's going to take him out. That could be a stroke. It could be an ischemic stroke. It could be a congestive heart failure, breakout. When sometimes they'll have, they have to be, diuresed heavily, exacerbation, a CHF exacerbation, but something's going to happen. And when it happens, it's going to happen very quickly, or has already happened very quickly. Since that is the base of the reading. In the past, we have the Eight of Swords. You see a woman with a blindfold on, and she's tied up with the swords all around them. The truth has been all around us, whether you've chosen to see the truth or not. The truth is all around us. We need to take a look. Sometimes you need to step back and take a look. And what's really going on here? Does this really add up? I mean, we are presented with one thing in the media, but there's just been too many symptoms, and we need to take a look at it as individuals and as participating members of the society. We just need to back up and take a look. And what is the truth? Sometimes we're blinded by the truth, by the media, by the AI manufactured videos. And is this really the truth? I did a reading not long ago on are they using AI to promote the chief executive, and definitely they are. AI has been a product of that, part of that. What's crowning this reading is the Eight of Pentacles. You see, so this whole thing is working. His whole scheme has been working. This is the work of the somebody who's who's working, and he's a master craftsman, and so this whole plot, this whole scheme of promoting this individual has been working, and they have much of America fooled, and it's all been working. And we have AI manufactured videos, and they have a whole plan they're moving in, and the prices are going up. And what else is going up? The cost of living is going up. And it's all been manufactured, and it's all been working. I don't know to whose benefit it is, but it certainly hasn't been to the benefit of the American people. What's in front of this? The six, this is future energy that's going to be manifesting in the future, and it is the Six of Pentacles. And I think that has more to do with it has to do with people being treated fairly. Have you been treated fairly? Do you feel like you've been treated fairly in this Trumpian economy? Have we been getting treated fairly in terms of information that's been presented to us? When it comes to inflation, these individuals, this whole party always comes on, prices are down, inflation is down. Are we being treated fairly by the media? Our media people have been they're a bit scared to report the truth because they're scared of lawsuits. I have such a small podcast here. I have a handful of listeners. I'm not overly concerned about that. And this is a tarot reading for entertainment purposes only. So, and this is just my interpretation of the cards. But I want you to ask yourself, do you feel like you have been treated fairly? So, card, how does Trump see himself? He sees himself as a 10 of Pentacles, he sees himself as a wise old man who's benefiting the population, either with his knowledge or his wisdom or his wealth, but certainly not his wealth. He's not going to share any of that with us. But that's how he sees himself. He sees, I don't know whether it's true or not, I don't know. What's the environment? The environment surrounding how the American people see what's going on. And it's the Five of Pentacles. In the Five of Pentacles, you see two people standing in front of a church window with 5 pentacles. One of them is a cripple, and they're in the snow, and another one is wearing a shawl with tattered holes in it. And we just don't feel like we've been treated fairly in this economy, in this administration. And it suggests that we spend a little time in prayer and meditation, and listening to John's tarot, especially as he tries to bring us to wholeness. In this next set of videos, I promote myself mercilessly. But the American people don't feel like they've been treated fairly, like we're suffering. And when you're suffering, definitely prayer, meditation, and what lesson is there to be learned from the suffering you're going through? As I looked at the Kabbalah, that's one of the biggest lessons I learned as I studied the Kabbalah. The left side is pain and mercy, and then the other side is mercy on the tree of life. And sometimes pain brings about learning, and the learning is that sense of mercy that you gain from life's experiences. Are we gaining any knowledge from life's experiences here? Fears. The Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles, you see a woman, the card of grace. Will we achieve that grace that we fear that we'll never see the America that our parents had? That America where you were able to buy a home, where you were able to support a family on one job. My dad supported a family on one job. Mom and dad weren't both working, just dad. And he supported a family on, and he had major problems and still was able to support a family on one job. And that's just what America, we would like to go back to that. Will we ever experience that? That's our fears in terms of this administration and in terms of all the administrations. We've been let down by the Dems too. This all just didn't materialize all at once with the Trump administration. No, this has been going on for years, and this is just how we ended up here. And the final outcome on his health, and that's what I asked about, and then that's the tower. So something's going to happen. The tower is going to fall. This has been his whole administration, his whole persona has been based on unsteady ground, and he's going to be hit by lightning. And you see people falling out of the building. Those are probably like his staff. This administration is going to fall. It's not looking good. I'm going to go ahead and see about wrapping this up.
Goodbye, Professor Marvel, and thanks a lot.
Well, it was my pleasure. I hope you enjoyed today's brief podcast and brief reading. I hope you tune into my podcast for this Friday, as things are about to change a little bit with John's tarot. I'm not just going to do fortune-telling type readings. I'm going to start doing readings that bring healing and growth to my listeners. So until next time, be careful, be cool, be kind. Remember, find courage, have faith, and I will talk to you all this Friday. Bye-bye.